Good morning. How are you today? Sorry. Okay. All right. So good morning to you. Today is Thursday, May 28th, and welcome. My name is Judy Menlove, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Markham, Ontario, Canada. So I'm just going to see if I can get this to show up on my iPad, so if there are any comments, I can see them. And just going to wait a couple minutes, see if anybody pops on. So let me just get this to show up here, hopefully. Looks good. Okay, so I hope you're all having a wonderful day today so far. I know it's still pretty early, but however, a lot of you have been up super early, and again, I hope you're having a great day. Okay, so what are we going to do today? I am going to be showcasing Exciting Times stamp set and a punch. So before I get into that, just a reminder that there is, today's the 28th, 29th, 3 days left. Well, actually, 28 to 9:30, counting today, 4 days left to take advantage of Stampin' Up! Starter Kit. So for $135, normally you can get $165 of product of your choice. No tax, no shipping costs. And for the month of May, which will end May 31st, you have a choice of either the $165 in product plus 5 of the new in-color stamp sets for free for the $135. Or if you don't want the stamps, I said stamp sets, I meant ink pads. This is going to be another great day, I can tell. Okay, let me start over. So for $135, you can get $165 worth of product plus the 5 new in-color ink pads. Okay, so here is one of them. Okay, and they open like that. They are magnetic. Okay, so you can get the 5 new ink colors for free. Or if you don't want the ink pads, then you can get an extra $50 in product. So that would be $215 of your choice of product for $135. Okay, I hope I got that right. So again, that offer ends May 31st. So if you're interested, leave me a comment or send me an email or whatever, and we can chat about it. And again, if you contact me and you want more information, no obligation. You don't have to, if you decide to change your mind, you don't want to do it, that's fine. Okay. You're just going to chat with me and get a little more information on it. Okay. All right. So I guess I think that's the only thing I have. If there's more, I forgot. So anyways, I'm going to turn the camera down and we'll get started. So hang on a second. Let me find that right button there. Okay, I need to put my light on. There we go. All right, so, yeah, I'm just looking at my iPad. It keeps dragging behind a little bit. All right, so this is the Exciting Times stamp set. It comes with the rounded rectangle punch. And there's not a lot in this stamp set. You get this stamp and this stamp. And let's celebrate. You did it. Happy birthday to you. And thank you so much. Okay, so, and then this is the punch. It's just the rounded rectangle. So it's a rectangle with rounded corners, and it will cut these out. So I will put that to one side for now. I'm going to be using some of the 26, 28 in color painted patterns that if you decide to join Stampin' Up, they will match your new ink pads if that's the route you want to take. Anyways, I'm just going to quickly go through these. I may have done it previously. I don't remember. So anyways, I thought I'd just do it now anyways. So this is the crisp cantaloupe. Okay. So you've got these two patterns. And on the other side, you have these two patterns. Okay, so that's the crisp cantaloupe. Whoops. This is the Barely Blush. It's very, very soft, very faint. I think you can see it okay. And that's that side. So that's the Barely Blush. This is Golden Glow. Okay, which is obviously kind of a gold color. Okay. The pattern is the same for all of them. It's just the different colors. Okay, and this is the Peaceful Pine. And that one. And last but not least, we have the Hydrangea Hue. Okay, which is that one. Okay, we're also going to be using a piece from, my paper's all getting scrunched here. Hang on a second. Okay, now it's just all over the floor. Okay, we're also going to be using a piece from the product of the month for May, which is the Berry Botanical Vellum. Okay, so there we go, Berry Botanical Vellum. So in Canada, if you place an order for $100, you can purchase this vellum for $7. Okay, good morning, Jean. How are you today? All right, so this is the vellum. Got these great little flowers. There's nothing on the other side because it's vellum. You can see through it. And then there's this piece. And this one. This is the one I'm going to be using today. And then the Peaceful Pine. I love the Peaceful Pine. I'm going to save this for Christmas. I just really like this vellum. I'm hoping I can save it till Christmas. I may use it before then. Who knows? Okay. And you get 12 sheets of that vellum. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with some fresh freesia. Now, I haven't mentioned this in a while. So this is, I already scrunched the corner here. This is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Now, I don't know if you can see the scoring there. There is a valley and a mountain. Okay, so when you fold, your first instinct is to fold where the indentation is, where the valley is, and you don't want to do that. You want to fold on the mountain side. So we're going to go this way. Okay, this apparently breaks down the fibers easier, so you don't get all that split fiber marks. Okay. All right, so this piece of white is, let me see, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then the vellum is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So I haven't tried this without doing that. So I just know other vellum, when you put glue on it or tape runner or anything, you can see it. So what I did, I'm just looking for another mat I can use. So I got another mat, and I just took my glue. I squirted some on my mat here. I want to make sure you can see. Don't need a lot. And then I have a piece of sponge that I've been using for quite a while, and just put a binder clip on it. Okay. And then I just kind of, I don't want a lot because I don't want it to show through. And I just kind of tapped a little bit on the corners. Not very much. I don't think you need a lot. So, and the corners. I'm trying to remember where I've tapped, so I don't put this in the glue. And we'll just put a little bit down here. Okay, let me get that out of the way. Hopefully there's enough glue on there that it will stick. We'll see. I'm not going to worry about the middle, because that's where I'm putting stuff. There we go. So that adheres quite nicely. Like I said, you don't need a lot of glue. So it's stuck pretty good. Okay. All right, let me just get rid of that. And because I put it on my silicone mat, if you don't have a silicone mat, this is my favorite tool. Yeah, so this glue will just all peel off later. And you can use it with a heat gun as well. Not a heat gun, a glue gun. Okay. All right, so we're just going to glue this onto here. These cards are pretty simple. I've been in a simple mood lately. So this is Fresh Freesia, one of my favorite colors. Love the Fresh Freesia. Okay, just like that. All right, I need some white paper. And I have this stamp set. So I'm going to ink this up. Good morning, Kathy. How are you today? Good morning, Rose. Thanks, guys, for joining me. So we're going to ink this up in the Fresh Freesia. And we're going to put it here. Okay, looks pretty good. And you know what? There's no punch for this. I'm just going to fussy cut this. Because if I try and put it in my trimmer, I don't line it up very well. So I'm just going to fussy cut out with a bit of a border on it. I wanted a bit more border than what I left there, but yeah, so it's cut crooked, but that's okay. Now let's see if I can just straighten up this one a little bit, because it is rather crooked. Yeah. Good enough. Again, handmade. Yeah, if you can do it on your trimmer, great. I found every time I tried to do it, it didn't work. I also cut a piece of white, and then tried to stamp it, and I even got that crooked. So, so if you can do a better job, good for you, but I couldn't. So, and you know what? It's pretty easy to cut. It's just straight. So, all right. So then I'm going to take this piece, this stamp, and I'm also going to ink this up in the Fresh Freesia. And I'm just going to put that there. And there we go. Well, it kind of blurred a little bit. Let's try the other. Let's just get another piece of scrap. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. That's better. And then I'm going to take the Happy Birthday to You. We're going to ink that up in the Fresh Freesia. And can't see. I think that's pretty good. There we go. Okay, not perfect, but it's okay. Get these out of the way. You know what? I'm going to wipe these off because I'm going to reuse them. And I want to make sure I remember to clean them. So let me just do that. And this one. This is why I cut these in half. So that I can do it that way rather than trying to get it on there. Okay. All right, now this one I'm going to take the punch. This one's too big for the punch, but I will point out it will cut this out. So, in other words, if you put that in like that, it will cut that, okay, which you'll end up with this, okay? But it will cut this one, so we'll go ahead and do that. And my lighting line down here today is really not very good. There we go. Okay, and I didn't stamp this on there because it doesn't quite fit. See, it kind of covers that. So we're just going to glue that in there because we're going to pop this up. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's good enough. And my happy birthday is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Again, it's handmade. They're not perfect. And we're just gonna put some dimensionals on. And peel the backs off. Oh, forgot one. All right, now we're just gonna position that wherever. Okay, before I press that down. It's hard to tell if it's straight because these lines are all crooked. So you really just kind of have to guesstimate there. I don't know, looks okay. All right, so now I have some embellishments from the Moody palette, Glossy Dots, and I'm just gonna stick some white ones on. So I'm just gonna put a couple up here. And one down here. And I'm gonna take some white twine. So the twine is from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So you get the 5 colors, okay? And just gonna cut a piece. I'm just gonna try, I'm gonna try and tie a bow. And just gonna play with it until you get it the size you want. I'm just gonna put it there with a glue dot. So I'm gonna take a glue dot and I'm just gonna kind of roll it around in my fingers. So it's kind of, so it's just, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so it's kind of small. And just put that on. You can use a little drop of glue if you prefer. Either or works fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that right there. And I'll get my ribbon scissors and just trim this off a little bit. All right, so that is card number 1. Okay, so now I have another one for you. So this one is done in crisp cantaloupe. So again, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, I'm just gonna score it on the back side. Not that it matters. So this piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, and then I cut a couple of pieces from that designer series paper, the end colors. And so I've cut the polka dots, which is 3 3/8 by 2. And then the stripes are 3 3/8 by 2 5/8. Although you can change up the sizing if you want. And then we're just gonna glue that to the white. So let's go ahead and do that. So we just have, I think, an 1/8 of an inch border here. So not very much, just a little bit. And then we'll put some more glue on. I'm not worried about it overlapping because I'm going to put some ribbon around there. There we go. Okay, so before I adhere this to the card, I'm going to take some crisp cantaloupe ribbon, and I'm just going to actually put a glue dot. Wait, I need to cut it first. It's just going to be wrapped around the card, so I don't need a very big piece, and I'm just going to put a glue dot here to hold the ribbon on, and then it's going to be glued to the card, so a glue dot will be just fine. So just gonna put it over the seam there where that joined. And wrap that around like that. There we go. Okay. Now we're just going to add it to the card. See, again, pretty simple. All right. So we've got a big border around the card here. Okay. Now my scrap here. I'm gonna use the thank you in the crisp cantaloupe. I'll put that there. Actually, I'm gonna use this first. So I did clean that, right? Yep. Okay, so we're gonna ink this up in the crisp cantaloupe. There we go. And the thank you is just going to go right in the middle. You know, I'm just going to check that. I'm going to stamp this just a couple times. There we go. And in the middle here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me just clean these off. Okay, then we're going to take our punch and we're going to line this up. Yeah, I'm getting a shadow here that I can't really see. There, that looks pretty good. Okay, and punch. Okay, and then we're just going to punch this or pop this up with dimensionals again. And I'm not going to put one in the middle because the ribbon is there, so I'm just going to this is crooked too. I'm really good today at crookedness. Let's go over just a little bit. Okay, done. And then we have the in color dots I'm going to use. So I'm going to put a couple of big ones up here. You know, I don't know if I want to do that or I want to use the white. Let me just see what the white looks like. I think I like the white better. Pull that off. Put that back on so I can reuse that. The white just seems to pop more. I found that the other one kind of gets lost. Oh. Actually, then we're just going to put 2 up here. And we'll just put 1 down here. And that is card number 2. See, easy peasy, nothing to it. Okay. And last but not least, stay there, I have this one. So this paper I showed you a couple of weeks ago. This is from the Beautiful Ordinary Life paper. That's on the other side, which is really cute, but I'm going to use the polka dots here. So I have 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'll give it a nice crease. And then we're just going to, yeah, we're just going to put this on now. Okay, so this is your 4 1/4 by, or 4 by 5 1/4 size layer here. And then I have a piece of 1 3/4 by 4 of the basic black. And this is strawberry slush. I forgot what it was for a minute. And this is 1.5 by 4. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that onto there. Again, there's nothing fancy about these cards. There's not a lot of fanciness I can do with the stamp set. I could cut leaves and make it all pretty, but I just wanted to do kind of basic today. Basic and fast. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue this on. And we'll put that around about here. And there we go. Does that look straight? It's hard to tell with the polka dots. Straight enough. It's good enough. Okay, so I've already stamped this piece, okay, which was the same as what we did on the fresh freesia. But what I did was I clipped these little corners out. So I cut it by hand and just snip these corners out. And I'm going to stamp Let's Celebrate, I think we'll do, in the strawberry slush to tie it in with that. So Let's Celebrate. So this can be used for anything or nothing. I mean, people like to celebrate all the time. Let's get together for a glass of wine, coffee, tea, whatever, a drink. Okay, and again, we're just gonna add some dimensionals. My stomach is grumbling. I hope you can't hear it. Because it's getting louder all the time. I did have breakfast at 6, so I shouldn't really be that hungry yet. But for some reason, my stomach is saying, you are hungry. We're just going to pop that right there. Okay. And then I have 25, 27 in color flat pearls. I'm not sure these are still on the last chance list or if they're gone. I'm looking for my little guy here. There he is. So we're going to just put a couple more dots. These are the strawberry slush. And we'll put one more down here. And then, oh my goodness, it's really getting loud. And then I took a piece of the beige linen thread, and I colored it with the light strawberry slush blends. So basically, let me just pull my scrap paper back in. I'll just show you what I did. So just laid it out. I use this end, the pointy end. Yes, Kathy, thank you. Yes, basic works, and then you can add if you want or you need. So anyways, then I just kind of ran it along like this. Okay, and then just kind of flipped it over a little bit to make sure all sides were kind of covered. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but anyway, so that's what I did for that. So I wanted some twine. I didn't want white. And anyways, I thought I would try that. So here it is here. I didn't do the very ends because I figured I'm going to snip them off. And we'll just tie a bow. I haven't tried this yet, so I don't even know if I'm going to like it, but I'm sure it will look very nice. It's a little bit stiffer when you color with the blends, just so you know. And we're just going to kind of put that there. Doesn't actually even look the same color, but it is. And so I'm looking for my glue dots. There we go. And again, I'm just going to roll it up in my fingers. So then it's just a little ball. And put that on the knot. Oh, my poor stomach. So hungry. Don't feel hungry. We'll just put that there like that. Just adds a little something. And I'll just trim these off with my ribbon scissors. And there we go. Okay, so let me get rid of all this stuff. And I'll bring my cards back in so you can see them. So that's that. Which one's your favorite? I kind of like them all. They're not, I will admit, they're not very masculine. But you could take this and do it in the Peaceful Pine, in the dark green. That would be very nice. Even the hydrangea hue would work. Yeah, so, or whatever else you have in your stash, that would work. Yeah, so make it to make it a little more masculine. The pink is definitely not very masculine. And this is okay, but again, I put the little bow on it, so to me that makes it a little more feminine. Anyways, that's all I've got today, guys. That is the rounded rectangle punch. And I lost the die. I lost the stamp set already. Oh, here it is. Underneath everything. Yeah. Exciting times. Okay. Rose likes the black and white one. Fresh freesia. Jean loves fresh freesia also. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like them anyway. So, yeah. Anyways, have a good week. I hope the weather stays nice. I think we're finally due for some warmer weather, and the weekend looks pretty nice. So I hope you enjoy it. The middle one's her favorite. So you like the black one too. You know, I actually just did this morning. I thought I kind of had the paper out yesterday and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And then I thought, oh, maybe the strawberry slush would go with that. And actually I quite like this one. So anyways, okay, that's it, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you back here next Thursday at 10:30. Thanks very much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.